To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. To Kill a Mockingbird is set in the racially segregated American South during the 1930s and follows young Scout Finch, her brother Jem, and their father, Atticus Finch, a lawyer. Atticus is appointed to defend Tom Robinson, a black man falsely accused of raping a white woman, Mayella Ewell. Despite evidence proving Tom's innocence, racial prejudice leads to his conviction. Through Scout's eyes, we witness the injustice of the legal system, the deep-seated racism in society, and the moral lessons taught by Atticus. The novel explores themes of racial injustice, morality, and the loss of innocence. Let's deep dive into the book. The trial begins. The novel begins by introducing Scout Finch, her brother Jem, and their father Atticus Finch, a respected lawyer in Maycomb. The children, along with their friend Dill, are fascinated by their reclusive neighbor Boo Radley, spinning tales about him and daring each other to get closer to his house. As the town begins to buzz with news of Atticus defending Tom Robinson, a black man accused of raping a white woman, Mayella Ewell, the Finch family faces growing tension from the community. Despite the odds stacked against him, Atticus takes on the case, determined to stand for justice. Atticus's defense. Atticus approaches the trial with careful preparation, aware that the racial prejudices in Maycomb will make it difficult to win. He presents evidence that suggests Mayella and her father, Bob Ewell, are lying about the events of the night in question. Through cross-examination, Atticus demonstrates that Mayella was likely beaten by her father and not Tom Robinson. Despite proving that Tom couldn't have committed the crime due to his physical limitations, the deeply ingrained racism in the town makes it clear that a fair trial is unlikely. The jury's verdict. As the trial progresses, Scout and Jem witness the deep-rooted racism in their town firsthand. Atticus's defense is logical and compelling, but the jury is influenced more by racial bias than by facts. After a tense wait, the jury convicts Tom Robinson of the crime, despite the overwhelming evidence pointing to his innocence. The conviction deeply affects Jem, who had believed in the fairness of the legal system. Scout begins to understand the complexities of morality and justice as she sees her father grapple with the failure of the legal system to protect the innocent. Tom Robinson's fate. Following his conviction, Tom Robinson is sent to prison to await appeal. Despite Atticus's hope to overturn the verdict, Tom loses faith in the justice system. In a desperate attempt to escape, Tom is shot and killed by the guards. The news of Tom's death devastates Atticus and his family. Jem, especially, struggles to comprehend how such an injustice could occur. Scout, though still young, starts to see the world for what it is, realizing that good people are not always rewarded, and the innocent can suffer unfairly. Bob Ewell's revenge. Though Atticus hoped that the trial would be the end of the conflict with Bob Ewell, Bob feels humiliated by how Atticus exposed him in court. Bob seeks revenge and begins to harass those involved in the case, including Tom Robinson's widow and Judge Taylor. The tension escalates as Bob's behavior becomes more erratic. Despite these threats, Atticus believes Bob's anger will eventually fade, underestimating the danger he poses. Bob's animosity towards Atticus culminates in a violent confrontation that endangers both Jem and Scout. The attack on the children. One night, while walking home from a school event, Scout and Jem are attacked by Bob Ewell. Jem is knocked unconscious, and Scout, trapped in her costume, is unable to defend herself. Just when it seems Bob is about to seriously harm Scout, a mysterious figure intervenes, saving the children. It is revealed that Boo Radley, the reclusive neighbor whom the children had once feared, is the one who rescued them. Boo carries Jem back to Atticus's house, and the true nature of Bob's cruelty and Boo's kindness becomes apparent to Scout. Boo Radley's revelation. After the attack, Scout finally meets Boo Radley face to face. She realizes that he is not the monster she and the other children once imagined him to be, but a kind and protective figure. Through her interactions with Boo, Scout learns an important lesson about empathy and understanding others. Standing on Boo's porch, she sees the world from his perspective and reflects on her earlier misconceptions. This moment symbolizes her growth throughout the novel, as she learns to look beyond surface appearances and appreciate the complexities of human nature. Heck Tate's decision. Following Bob Ewell's death during the attack, the sheriff, Heck Tate, insists that Bob's death be ruled an accident to protect Boo Radley from unwanted attention. Atticus initially believes Jem might have killed Bob in self-defense, but Heck persuades him that exposing Boo, the real hero, would only bring harm to a man who wants to remain private. Scout agrees with the decision, realizing that dragging Boo into the public eye would be like killing a mockingbird, a symbol of innocence. This decision ties into the novel's broader theme of protecting the vulnerable. Scout's growing understanding. As the novel draws to a close, Scout reflects on the events that have unfolded. She comes to understand her father's belief in moral courage and the importance of standing up for what is right, even when the odds are against you. Scout has matured throughout the story, gaining a deeper awareness of the complexities of human nature, justice, and the impact of prejudice. Her relationship with her father remains strong, and she sees him not just as a parent, but as a moral guide who has taught her important lessons about empathy and integrity. The final moments. In the final chapter, Scout walks Boo Radley back to his house and says goodbye to him for the last time. As she stands on his porch, she reflects on the importance of seeing the world from another person's perspective, a key lesson from Atticus. Scout's journey from innocence to a more nuanced understanding of humanity is complete. The novel ends with Atticus reading to Scout, symbolizing the enduring bond between father and daughter and the continued importance of learning and growing. Scout falls asleep, feeling safe and secure in her father's care, embodying the novel's ultimate message of hope. Let's meet together the main characters of the book. Scout Finch, the novel's narrator and protagonist, is a young girl who grows up in Macomb, Alabama during the 1930s. Curious, intelligent, and spirited, Scout is initially naive about the world's complexities, particularly regarding issues of race and justice. As the story unfolds, she learns important lessons from her father, Atticus, and through her own experiences, especially during Tom Robinson's trial. Her interactions with figures like Boo Radley and her exposure to the injustices in her town shape her growth from innocence to a more nuanced understanding of morality and empathy. Atticus Finch, Scout and Jem's father, is a lawyer known for his strong moral principles and sense of justice. He takes on the defense of Tom Robinson, despite knowing that the odds are against them, because he believes it is the right thing to do. Atticus teaches his children the importance of empathy, understanding, and standing up for what is just, even when it's difficult. He is a calm, patient, and wise figure, embodying the novel's moral center. Through his actions and beliefs, Atticus represents the ideal of integrity in the face of social prejudice and racism. Jem Finch, Scout's older brother, is another key character whose growth is central to the novel. At the beginning of the story, Jem is full of childhood innocence and belief in the fairness of the world. However, the trial of Tom Robinson and the subsequent injustice deeply affect him, leading him to question the morality of the people in his town. Jem's character arc is one of disillusionment, as he transitions from a boy who believes in the inherent goodness of society to a young man who understands the complexities of justice and human nature. Boo Radley is the mysterious and reclusive neighbor who becomes a figure of fascination for Scout, Jem, and Dill. Initially perceived as a monster by the children, Boo is gradually revealed to be a kind and protective figure, culminating in his rescue of Scout and Jem from Bob Ewell's attack. Boo symbolizes the theme of misunderstood innocence, as he has been wrongly judged by the community based on rumors and fear. His eventual interaction with Scout shows her growth in empathy and understanding as she learns to see the world from his perspective. Tom Robinson is a black man falsely accused of raping Mayella Ewell. Despite clear evidence that he did not commit the crime, Tom is convicted due to the racial prejudices of the time. His character represents the tragic consequences of racism and injustice in the American South. Tom is portrayed as a kind, hard-working man who is caught in the crossfire of a society unwilling to give him a fair chance. His wrongful conviction and subsequent death serve as pivotal moments in the novel, highlighting the deep flaws in the legal system and societal attitudes. Let's explore together the main themes and concepts of the book. Racial injustice. One of the most prominent themes in To Kill a Mockingbird is the deep-rooted racial injustice present in the American South during the 1930s. The conviction of Tom Robinson, a black man wrongfully accused of raping a white woman, serves as a clear example of systemic racism. Despite overwhelming evidence of Tom's innocence, the all-white jury convicts him purely because of his race. The trial exposes the inherent biases in society, and the consequences of racism are tragic, highlighting the moral failure of the justice system and the prejudice that permeates everyday life in Maycomb. Moral growth and integrity. The theme of moral growth is central to the novel, particularly through Scout's development as she begins to understand the complexities of right and wrong. Atticus Finch represents moral integrity, teaching his children the importance of empathy and standing up for what is right, even when faced with immense social pressure. He defends Tom Robinson despite knowing that the case is likely unwinnable, embodying the ideal of moral courage. The novel explores how individuals, especially children like Scout and Jem, learn to form their own ethical beliefs in a world fraught with prejudice. The coexistence of good and evil. Throughout the novel, there is a persistent exploration of the coexistence of good and evil within people and society. Characters like Atticus embody goodness and moral righteousness, while figures such as Bob Ewell represent cruelty and malevolence. However, the novel suggests that people are not wholly one or the other. Boo Radley, initially perceived as a monster by the children, turns out to be a kind, protective figure. Through this theme, To Kill a Mockingbird emphasizes that human nature is complex, and it challenges the notion of simplistic black and white morality. The importance of empathy. Empathy is a recurring theme in To Kill a Mockingbird, particularly through Atticus's advice to Scout about the importance of understanding others by seeing things from their perspective. This lesson becomes pivotal as Scout matures, learning to sympathize with individuals like Boo Radley and Tom Robinson, who are misunderstood by society. The theme of empathy also highlights the novel's broader moral lesson. Understanding and kindness are necessary to counteract prejudice. Scout's growth in empathy is one of the most significant aspects of her character development throughout the story. Childhood and growing up. To Kill a Mockingbird is a coming-of-age story that follows Scout and Jem as they confront the harsh realities of the adult world, particularly the racism and injustice present in their community. The children's initial innocence is gradually eroded as they witness the unfairness of the legal system and the cruelty of people like Bob Ewell. Their experiences during the trial and its aftermath force them to mature, and they learn difficult but important lessons about morality, courage, and the complexity of human nature. This theme underscores the novel's exploration of how children transition from innocence to understanding. Let's talk about the author. Harper Lee, born in 1926 in Monroeville, Alabama, was an American novelist best known for To Kill a Mockingbird. Published in 1960, the novel was an immediate success, winning the Pulitzer Prize and becoming a classic of modern American literature. Lee drew on her own experiences growing up in the South to write about themes of racial injustice and morality. Though she avoided the public eye for much of her life, her work remains highly influential. In 2015, her second novel, Go Set a Watchman, was published, though it was written before To Kill a Mockingbird. Lee passed away in 2016. Sincere thanks for watching. If you found this summary helpful, consider taking a moment to hit the subscribe button, like or share the video. If you have any feedbacks or book requests, make sure to leave a comment. Regardless, I wish you a great day.